Hello, welcome to ePathshala. I am Dr. Aska Kamil from Kamala Nehru College, University of Delhi. Today I am going to discuss module Rural-Urban Fringe, Definition, Limitation and Structure, which comes under the paper Urban Geography. First of all, let's discuss what could be your learning outcome of this module. While going through this module, you will be able to comprehend definitions, delimitations and structure of fringe, conceptual understanding of its transformation. So we begin. Verwin, an American land economist, was the first social scientist to define the rural-urban fringe. According to him, this is the area of transition between well-recognized urban land uses and the area devoted to agriculture. Rural-urban fringe is a transitional zone. It has appearance of both rural and urban characteristics and social groups. But modern means of communications as well as the means of movements of people and goods are making the social attitudes between the two groups of the rural and urban practically much diffused. In various parts of Western Europe and North America, urban impact on social life has been felt well away from the immediate surroundings of the cities. Therefore, it is no longer worthwhile to recognize a rural-urban fringe. The rural-urban fringe is a zone of frontier of discontinuity between city and country in which the rural and urban land use are blended. The fringe is defined in relation to the city and exists in the agricultural hinterland, whereas the land use is changing. The city does not grow outward in well-defined patterns. It rather sprawls haphazardly, making rapid advances at point and hardly moving at all at another. This results into incoherent landscape, which is characteristics of the fringe. Another characteristic and unique quality is a wide mix of land uses. The land uses ranges from a variety of commercial developments, including out-of-town shopping centers, to the city services and industries which are conveniently located at the margins. Rural-urban fringe lies beyond the city, administrative limits. It is a wide rural area into which residential development is encroaching, and new industrial sites and other urban uses are in the process of development along its main lines of communication. The development is often clustered around existing villages and small towns. The urban or the rural fringe is extensive space between the open countryside and the built-up cities and suburbs. It marks the space in which the landscape is growing and changing gradually and continuously. The change and the development are a result of increasing population pressure and economic growth, which exerts from the suburbs. Such quick development allows rural lands to draw vitality from the inner cities mentioned by Daniels in 1999. This area is not a country nor a city either. It has been characterized as a hybrid region, no longer remote and yet with a lower density of population and development than a city or suburb. The strip of the urban and suburban fabric have extended into the countryside, creating an irregular settlement pattern. Those patterns blur the distinction between the rural, urban and suburban. There are, however, some distinctions. Unlike the suburbs, the urban-rural fringe has a lower density and more primitive land use planning. Furthermore, any new development is more noticeable in the fringe, and growth management challenges are much greater than in the suburb. Let's talk about its structure. The rural-urban fringe lies between the continuous built-up area of the city and the urban shadow. It can be viewed as an area of invasion in which the population density is increasing rapidly and the land value are rising. The fringe consists of inner fringe, also called the urban fringe, which is characterized by the land in a progressive stage of transition from the rural to urban land use. The area is dotted with newer construction sites which have been approved by the authority. The second area is the outer fringe, also called the rural fringe, which is an area in which the rural land use continues to dominate the landscape. Apart from this, there is infiltration by those urban land uses which consume too much land, for example, construction of airports, sewage, works, etc. The fringe area tends to increase along transportation lines, and between such routes, pure rural land may extend cityward. The inner zone of the rural-urban fringe, in the advanced stage of transition from the rural to urban land uses. The outer zone indicates towards gradual change in the process, whereby city influences begins to appear. Beyond the outer zone is a diffused area where dispersal of some non-farm residences appear. At the city margins everywhere, the fringes contain a wide mix of land uses. It ranges from a variety of commercial development to the city services and industries. Some of the cities of the Western world have their fringes turned into unpleasant environment by noxious industrial units, junkyards and wholesale oil storage, sewage plants and even cemeteries. Out-of-town shopping centers also form a part of the Western city fringes. Most of the people prefer to settle in the fringe areas, and the selection of the fringe space is the outcome of social, economic and political factors. These include lower property prices and taxes, desire for open spaces and a quality living environment. These elements have been categorized by Daniel as push and pull factors. Push factors have the effect of compelling people to leave the urban areas. Such factors include higher property taxes in core areas, reduced level of services in core areas, perception of increasing level of urban crime, and restrictive regulations. Pull factors have the effect of enticing people to rural areas. Such factors include quality of life, differential tax and subsidy treatment, subsidization of suburban infrastructure and services by regional and local governments, subsidized on energy, continued emphasis on road building and cheaper land. The following points describe various pull factors that are advantages of fringe over the urban areas. Wide and cheap land, attractiveness of the lower cost land, greater space availability, possibility for a greater access to the nature. Access to the road. Provincial roads are often paved and maintained by the provincial government. Therefore, the residents are not directly responsible for paying for such services as snow removal, road construction and maintenance. Conversely, road repair in the urban areas are covered by area tax rate, or costs are hidden in the lot price in new subdivisions. Therefore, a settlement pattern establishes along a provinciality maintained roads. Reduced taxes. Rural areas often enjoy low property taxes. Residents do not have to pay for services that exist in cities, which are covered by the tax dollars. Extra costs are saved on the transit sidewalks and street lightnings as given by Batalana. Next is the quality of life. Urban dwellers who have grown tired of the noise pollution and crimes commonly associated with the urban areas may have a perception that the countryside has a clean air, open space and a slower pace of living. Notably, however, many rural areas experience higher crime rates than in more urbanized areas. Next point is the limited regulations. People living in cities often express frustration with many forms of regulation in the city life, pertaining to any number of the issues from the noise or property maintenance. In rural areas, people feel free to live as they choose without fear of regulatory interference. The service of the low density population is generally more expensive than of the compact settlement. As the dispersal of the settlements increases, the utilities, sewer, roads, public transportation, recreation and similar services generally increase their cost per capita. Stress is inbuilt upon the existing organizational structure to finance and manage the expansion. Some farmers sell their land to the middleman or the realtors, while others continue to hold out for higher land prices and examine the neighboring land use change. While the increase in the population density and heavy traffic farming is frequently becoming more difficult and is pushed to the less fertile land. The development of the fringe area may result in the loss of its semi-rural atmosphere. However, developments in the fringe areas are required to create their own systems. There are also infrastructural concerns, especially pertaining to the sewer system. They often use on-site septic system. This practice allows for scattered development where the soil is suitably permeable and create a serious health and environment concerns. As most of the rural areas use well systems, they face an increased risk of water contamination and other health hazards. The rural-urban fringe is the boundary between outside the urban area proper where the rural and urban land uses intermix. It is an area of transition from an agriculture and other rural land uses to urban use. Fringe areas, when located well within the urban sphere of influence, is characterized by a wide variety of land use including like dormitories, settlements, housing, middle income commuters who work in the main urban areas. With time, the characteristic of the fringe changes from largely rural to largely urban. Suburbanization takes place at urban boundaries of rural-urban fringe. Certain amount of problem may erupt from the competing land uses within this zone and the constant pressure for the new development, even in areas that have green belt status or the other forms of protection. The nature of the rural-urban fringe is influenced by agricultural policy, regional planning and urban economy and the agricultural economy. Baker et al. And others have identified 4 types of fringes as given in the figure 2, resulting from these influences. They are disturbed landscapes, neglected landscapes, simplified landscapes and valued landscapes. The areas is an advanced stage of transition from rural to urban uses. Another aspect is of social change in the attitudes of the people of the outer fringe. Although primarily attitudes were rural. Now with the urbanization, city influences have begun to penetrate and the social transformation takes place. The economic transformation in the area forms an urban shadow. It is in this region that the agricultural land is being under impact of urban expansion and gradually transformed with time. The rural-urban fringe involves groups. The agriculture groups is composed of the farmer whose land is being purchased for the urban development. People who are using land for other than agricultural purposes as well as not establishing their urban land use in the city proper. The city is the hub of the diverse interest and services as a center of communication, employment, business and public services. The potential of selling out to the non-farm interest is present to the farmers. This helps them to realize the value of land and also various prospects it can be put to, since they do not want to see the values of the land or the properties deteriorate. Non-farm interests also depend upon the attitudes of the farmers. At times, the non-farm development may tend to limit the potential non-farm values of his property. People come to reside in the fringe looking for the best of both urban and rural realities. They prefer to be peaceful environment and slower pace of life that takes them away from the aggressive and competitive city life. They want to develop a connection with the natural surroundings. The availability of large spaces has a lot of potential for the development. The income of the people into the fringe often leads to the conflict between the newcomers and the long-term residents, thereby creating controversies over the new development. For example, new fringe residents may expect public services comparable to those in the inner cities and suburbs, but do not want to pay taxes to develop such services. Long-term residents in the fringe are often divided into 2 camps, those who resist growth and those who see the growth as an economic opportunity. For example, older landowners whose land provides retirement security may wish to sell their property for a high price and thus may promote development. Others may view development as a threat to the rural features. There is a constant change in the pattern of land occupations. Farmers are small with intensive crop productions. Residential expansion is rapid. Services and other public utility facilities are inadequate and speculative building is common. The social characteristics reveals that newly built private housing in villages built by the elite developers is often expensive. It's usually noted that these are bought by the relatively high wage earners. Local people who have the first claim on the public housing will be physically segregated from these new developments. The rural-urban fringe is often regarded as greenfield sites, which are favored by large firms or organizations seeking locations for a new developments such as headquarters, offices, housing and industrial estates. Greenfield sites have advantages of being untouched sites, uncluttered by any previous development and are normally available as extensive tracts in single property deal, so facilitating land acquisitions. It's thereby become possible to allocate land for schools, light industry and housing so that there is a functional as well as social segregation of the land use. Also, the rural-urban fringe attracts mobile middle-class residents. One effect of their choosing to live beyond the city is that their financial contribution in form of rates is dented to the city, which they patronize for subsidies, services such as public transport, social services and cultural amenities. Such dormitory dwellers, while retaining strong linkages with the city which provides them income, may opt out of the problem of urban change and decay. From the point of view of commuting, people living in the fringe areas commute daily to their place of work. This creates a dual problem of traffic congestion in the city and total inactivity during the day in dormitory villages. The city government is faced with a task of providing transport services capable of handling peak load. However, these services remain underutilized for the rest of the day. The service content of the fringe settlement becomes modified. They no longer have to carry an array of goods and services corresponding with the requirement of the population they serve. Rather, they can focus on being specialized in a particular direction. The occurrence of rural-urban fringe in India is rather a recent phenomena around the cities. It was non-existent even around the largest metropolitan cities in India before 1950 because of very slow growth of cities in that period. The cities first began to expand physically, first through the development of the vacant land within the city itself and later by the slow encroachment on the land in the areas lying outside the city limits. The poorest sections of the stay in the village around the city and commute to the city for work. In India, urban fringe has become almost messy by joining of the settlements. They inherit the evils of conurbations such as slums, full of jhuggi-jhopdis, drainage-less unpaved narrow lanes and traffic congestions not far off from the city centre. The delimitation of the rural-urban fringe involves its structural composition. It is composed of several attributes like city municipal limits, contiguous small urbanized towns, urbanized villages around the city and also villages associated with the city by virtue of their other functions. During the British period, a number of villages around the existing towns and cities were totally relocated or in some cases dislocated in order to obtain space for the construction of new cantonments or civil lines. During the 19th century, there was no real need for the physical expansion of the towns and cities. And in half of the 20th century, the increase in the urban population was still marginal. The post-independence period has witnessed a radical transformation of urban scene. Over the period of time, population of million cities increased by more than 50% in a decade. Rapid growth of residential and other urban land uses occurred in a haphazard manner. Private land developers interested in making quick profits, industrial entrepreneurs and businessmen played a key role in bringing about the physical expansion of the city. The villages in the periphery of the city, which had hardly any administrative or political backup, were always on an easy target. The physical expansion of the city brings with it changes in the social aspects of life in the fringe villages. The growth of the industry, commerce, administration and institution of learning, arts, health, general jobs of an unskilled nature for rural population. For those who prefer to continue with farming, the rapidly growing city provides the expanding market for vegetables, fruits and milk. There becomes a significant change in the rural land use and even in the attitudes and values of the traditional rural people. Delimitation of the rural-urban fringe. The delimitation of the rural-urban fringe ought to be based on the field survey of all the villages within a radius of 10 to 20 kilometers from a city, thereby including around 200 villages. For a proper demarcation of the inner and outer boundaries of rural-urban fringe, a field survey of all village is necessary. A mere sample survey of villages is not adequate. Most studies depend upon secondary data on revenue villages, particularly from the Census of India. The city limits are invariably used as the inner limits of the fringe. An alternative method of finding out the outer limits of the fringe zone is to use the median of the 5 variable boundaries. The delimitation of the fringe zone using census data can give us only approximate results, which needs to be supplemented by the actual field studies. Also, the use of the limits of standard urban area, that is SUA, as the outer boundary of the rural-urban fringe may be used. The SUA were first defined in 1961 census and includes all villages around and urban places with population of 50,000 or more, which are expected to become part of the city in the period of 2 or 3 decades. Structure of rural-urban fringe in India. The city and the surrounding areas comprise 2 types of administrative areas: municipal towns and nagar panchayats, and revenue villages or gram panchayats. The municipal town tends to differ with the distance from the main city. Near the main city, smaller municipal towns are part of the city and have no identity with their own. With the distance from the main city, the municipal towns are different as they have their own distinct identity. The areas beyond the metropolitan built-up area but contiguous to it, having other municipal towns, census towns or fully urbanized villages constitutes the urban fringe part of the rural-urban fringe. The urban fringe is very much like the proper city with residential and commercial centers, but it generally lacks city services such as piped water supply, sewerage and garbage disposal facilities. Layout is haphazard and chaotic. Streets are narrow, winding and poorly maintained, and there is proliferation of squatter settlements and slums. In parts, the urban fringe is well organized with a posh residential colonies or industrial townships whose access roads are well maintained and have all urban amenities. The rural fringe that lies beyond the urban fringe consists of villages that are only partially affected by urbanization. In some places, all the agricultural land is intact. In other villages, there are some isolated blocks of urban land use, as seen in the development of residential plots in patches along the main roads and scattered industrial establishments outside the village site. Sometimes, portions of agricultural land in village are acquired by real estate agents for the speculative purposes, and these land remain vacant for a long period of time. The rural fringe may contain small towns or numbers of well-established townships, which are designated as inner ring, towns or suburbs. The rural villages are unaffected by the presence of city mainly because of the greater distances separating them from the area as green belt. Some towns within the rural green belt area have fully developed industrial townships with residential areas, schools, hospitals and markets. These towns are ringed towns or satellite towns. Next we come to the stages of transformation of the fringe. Number 1 stage, the rural stage, characterized by the village which are yet untouched by the urban influence. Farming is the main occupation of the people. Village also comprise of the landless laborers and artisans. Movement is restricted only to the jobs in urban areas. Next is the linkage stage. With a gradual spatial expansion of the city, walls of the close-knit rural society gives way to the city influence. Villages still retain the rural character with respect to the occupational structure, mobility. Farming transformed from the subsistence to the commercial farms. Daily movement of the villages to the city to sell vegetables, milk and flowers, improvement in the amenities. Next stage is occupational structure. Younger generation develops closer ties with the city and some of the people leave the farming jobs for salaried or low paid wage earners repair shops. Rest of the people engage in farming activity. Changing patterns of division of labor and mobility. Daily visits to the city for job, domestic requirement recreation, medical facilities. The fourth stage is land use change, which takes place village fully transformed to the city life. Part or whole of the agricultural land acquired by the government or by the private developers. Beginning of the planned residential colonies in the village areas mark the stage. People involved mostly in non-farming activities. Significant improvements in the transportation medium develops. Next is the urban village. Entire village land is converted into the urban land uses like residential and industrial. Sizable section of the village population is comprised of migrants in search of job. People are engaged in low paid jobs or small businesses. Let's come to the problems of fringe areas. Fringe sites are mostly used for dumping garbage and sewage of the city and for relocation of the city slum. The fringe is a zone of haphazard industrial and residential development. This happens when the rural people, lured by attractive prices, sell their land to the developers who may not develop the land before they are sold, and the people who purchase these land have to wait for the decades to obtain the basic urban amenities. Another problem being speculation on land. Fringe areas lack most of civic services that are found in the city like water supply, sewerage, because the city provides these services only to place within the municipal limits. So they have to obtain water from the hand pumps, tube wells, septic tanks and also adjust themselves to the poor quality of local, medical, educational, postal and transport facilities. That's all. Hope from this module you would have learned about rural-urban fringe. Thank you.